Behind every influencer campaign is a brand strategy that you just don't get to see. And we're going to show you in this video how Get Poppy AI were able to partner with one of the most successful YouTubers in the world, Ali Abdaal. And we'll show the exact system of how they first outreached to him to how they created that partnership, but then also how they used his partnership and his work to build a viral influencer campaign that also drove sales. And these are the kind of results that took them from a company that were 2 months from bankruptcy to just recently, in 18 months, hitting 5 million revenue. To do this, we'll go through 5 steps. First, we'll talk about who they are and their campaign overview. 2, why off the back of that, Ali Abdaal was the right fit. Number 3, how then they were able to start using a very cool technique to get in touch with Ali. 4, what happened when they actually got in touch and how they made that campaign work. 5, what they did next and how they built some success off of that. So who are they and what was their campaign goal?
So what we did with Poppy is we took the AI part, but then we combined it with 2 different things. 1 is context, and then 2 is a visual workspace. And then give it other YouTube videos from experts like Patty Galloway, Colin, and Samir, and say, hey, these are my YouTube videos. This is what Patty Galloway has to say about retention, or how to grow a YouTube channel, or how to come up with the best titles. And you combine all of that knowledge and produce really much better results than what a regular ChatGPT or Claude would do.
Get Poppy AI is a company that effectively is for marketers, founders, YouTubers, and it takes the success of someone like a Hormozy or a Paddy Galloway and says, you've got these great ads, I want to use that framing, that kind of framework, but specifically for my product and what I'm doing in my YouTube videos. So take the success over here and pop it into here. And so their campaign that they wanted to do was to drive sales. Previously, they'd worked with some influencers and not had great results. These were on TikTok and Instagram, getting a lot of views, but they just weren't getting the sales, weren't getting the conversion. When you're a SaaS company and when you're just starting out, sales and revenue is one of the most important things because they didn't have any funding. They were doing this all with savings and what they're doing themselves.
We were sponsoring Instagram influencers. We were paying them $300, $500 to make a reel. We would get a few sales, but nothing really huge. It was, I think, around August, September, we were literally 2 months away from running out of all the money we had saved to put towards the company. Another influencer of ours makes a YouTube video, and then that YouTube video starts blowing up. What we noticed was the ROI on YouTube, or the revenue generated on YouTube, was 10 times higher compared to Instagram. So we were like, shit, YouTube is the way to go.
2, why was Ali Abdaal the right fit? If you look at what they were trying to achieve, it's somebody that can drive sales. So it needed to be somebody that people would actually listen to, because it's one thing to watch a video and be aware of it all, but can somebody actually convert? And then you need to think about the audience that they're speaking to. Are they speaking to people that would buy from you? And so in Get Poppy's case, what they were looking at was founders, marketers, people who want to become more productive, YouTubers, and Ali fits that bill. It's people who are using technology, who are trying to become more productive, and in many cases want to make more revenue for them, which is exactly what Get Poppy can be, something that enables you to do. But getting in touch with him is super hard. He's very popular. He has millions of subscribers, probably an inbox that is overflowing. So how did Amanaf reach Ali? So he told me about something that's called the 6 degrees of separation. And it's the idea that through 5 or 6 handshakes, you could be in touch with anybody in the world. So if you have a friend of a friend of a friend, they may know some celebrity, or in Amanaf's case, they may know Ali Abdaal. So he wanted to know, how can I find the right people who I can speak to that are in his network that would recommend him this tool or to be speaking with us? And so he started, first of all, by looking at the socials. Who was he talking to? Who did he tag? Who was he pictured with? Who followed him? Who did he follow? And was able to then put together a small group of people that he felt would be able to help him get in touch with them. And then once he's found these people that are in this network, he started to speak with them. He then learned of a webinar that was happening. Went down a lot of dead roads, but this webinar, some of Ali's team were on. So after it, he'd written down all of their names, sent them an email with a screen recording of Get Poppy, showing them how it worked, and no one replied. Not a single person from there replied, and it felt like he'd reached another dead end. But what happened then was super interesting. They hadn't ignored his email. They'd forwarded it on to somebody else. Someone that was connected to someone at the part-time YouTube Academy, which is something that Ali runs. And at the YouTube Academy, one of the coaches got in touch and was like, hey, I think this is cool. I'd like to try it. And so what happens? They try it, they love it. And now that coach is speaking with Ali and Ali's team and says, hey, you should try this. So in this part is once you've got contact with Ali, what do? How do you actually make that work? Because they had been introduced through a friend, through a colleague, but also that colleague's not speaking to them every day. So what happens is they get Ali's contact and they start speaking to the team, talking about what GitPoppy can do, trying to get on a call with Ali and say, hey, like we'd love to show you through this. We always want to make sure creators feel like they've got knowledge of the product, can talk through it confidently. But Ali can't just get on a call with everybody. He's super busy. And so Ali is asking his network, what do you think? Have you tried this tool? And what's happening at this time is Amanaf has done something then that blew my mind. Because of that relationship that they want to have with everybody that they speak to and make sure they're treating all creators well, there's a few creators in his network that he's been speaking with by this point because they went down some of those dead ends and some of those people actually were connected to Ali and they've gotten through to the part-time YouTube Academy. So Ali asks, what do you think to this? And he was like, oh my God, I think this is epic. You have to try it. Now Ali is like super pumped and he's like, yes, this is something that I want to try. This is something that I want to do. And over the long term, they've now been a partner with GitPoppy for a good period of time. But as we said, it's not just one video that turns everything around for you. You need multiple creators and you need to get that network effect from them to really, really build successful campaigns. Final part is bringing this all together and possibly the most important point too. You've managed to get an Ali Abdaal or someone big by using that network effect. And that can work with any creator, right? If you speak to people that are close to them and you're able to have a positive impact, they might bring you in and you might then be able to create that partnership with them. But one video with one creator isn't going to be enough to drive your business to that 5 million revenue like they got. And so the next part is how do you find smaller creators that are in the same space? And so they are a customer of Channel Crawler. You can use that tool to find them, but I want to talk through this so that anybody can do it. What they would do is different to how a lot of other people do it. So what a lot of others do, they get a long list, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 creators, which they might buy, they might use a tool, they might go on YouTube and really hand scrape through it. And then they send out an email blast to everybody. In this case, that's not what they did. They had two types of lists. And Ali was something that able to help them build those lists, but also not just build it, but use as social proof. So they had their Dream 100 list of creators that they wanted to reach out to. They found them on Channel Crawler. You can easily find them on YouTube as well. And they say, we're looking for the productivity YouTubers. And for each of those, they went through, they looked at their content, they looked at who they knew, and they would send personalized messages to say, this is why we've noticed you, this is how we think you can help. And we also have worked with Ali Abdaal, by the way. So we're working with Ali, maybe you want to work with us too, and use that as great social proofing to start that conversation. Then with lots of other creators, again, they use Channel Crawler to find lists of, 6,000, 7,000 people that could potentially, they had the right view counts, they had the right niche, they were talking to the right kind of audience. But they also went through and individually vetted every single channel, which took time. They looked on the profile, they made sure they were talking about the right subjects, that it seemed like someone they would want to work with. And they would send them an email as well. And it would literally just be, they would say, yes, we like this creator, save them to a list in Channel Crawler, export that list and put it into a tool called Instantly AI and then outreach to them. And in that outreach message, where they are doing it a bit further at scale, maybe a few hundred at a time, they're saying, hey, we like your content in this niche because they're talking about productivity tech, it's universal. We've worked with Ali Abdaal, we'd love to work with you. Are you open to a conversation? And they made it super easy for people to say yes, to start that conversation, one that would be personal, where they would talk the creator through the tool and make it so that they had a personal relationship with that person. And then suddenly, you might have seen, if you go onto YouTube today, they are everywhere. They have so many great creators talking about them. And what you'll also find is some of those creators have a viral video, and it happens to be GitPoppy's. It is crazy. They've had such huge success. And so if you're looking to start a campaign on YouTube that drives sales, that works with lots of creators, this is a formula that you can follow as well. Find that Ali Abdaal type and then find people that produce that same kind of content and get working with them. If you have any questions, please do ask them below. There's so much more that we could have gone through in this video, but unfortunately didn't get the chance to. And if you can, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, let us know what videos you'd like to see. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.